Goal setting is a great way to build confidence with saving and taking control of your money. Research has found that setting strong goals improves performance by motivating people to increase their effort, bringing stronger focus, and helping them prioritize. In this video, I'll be sharing with you a strategy on how to achieve any goal that you truly desire. So why use the SMART approach to setting goals? First, you're able to state your desired goals. If saving $3,000 this year is a goal for you, then this goal has to motivate and move you into achieving it. The goal has to mean something to you. If your goal doesn't fully interest you or in some way contradicts your bigger picture, then the chances that you'll make it is really low. Second, the SMART approach brings clarity and focus on how you want to achieve them. Wherever possible, you should set goals aligned with your highest priorities. It could be your health, your career, your relationship, or your finances. Without high priority focus, you can end up with too many goals scattered over different parts of your life. And lastly, the SMART approach allows you to create an action plan. Many of us skip the action plan step in the goal setting routine, but this is crucial to achieve goals. We become overly focused on the outcome to the detriment of the steps needed to get there. Okay, now let's find out what SMART stands for. S stands for specific. When your goal is specific, it is easier to manage. Perhaps the most important thing is that your goal setting should be clear and concrete. Avoid vagueness when setting goals because you'll only end up lacking direction. Think of goals as lanterns lighting up your path. Choose one small goal and write it down. M is for measurable. If you can measure your goal, you will know when you are getting close to reaching it. Make sure you can count it or check it off a list. Be sure to include precise dates, scores, or amounts in your goals so you have a straightforward way of measuring your progress. A means attainable. Set a goal within your power and ability to achieve. While it's important not to let others tell us what is and what isn't realistic when it comes to goal setting, it's important to look inside yourself and determine whether it's actually possible to achieve the goals you set forth. If it's too hard, you can set yourself up for failure. R means realistic. Make it something you're willing to work towards. Setting unrealistic goals can be discouraging. Make sure your goal is realistic for you. T is for time limited. Give yourself a clear time frame to achieve your goal. Set a deadline. Goal setting theory tells us that deadlines give us a sense of urgency, reminds us to celebrate victories, both big and small, and ultimately help us to achieve our goals with time to spare for other things. Breaking down goals into a step-by-step process can help create a plan to achieve SMART goals that are important to you. Now, let's take a look at the 4 steps to achieving those SMART goals. Step 1. Define your SMART goal. Be as specific as you can. Include any costs associated with achieving that goal. Try to summarize your goal in one sentence. For example, I will make a list of all my spending categories. Or, I will visit my family in Vancouver for a week. Be as specific as you can. Now, here's an example for step 1. This is a general goal. I want to be debt-free. Now, this is the SMART goal. I will make a debt repayment plan by the 15th of the month. Now, which one do you think is more specific? The SMART goal, right? Step 2. Outline the steps towards your goal. Write down all the steps you will need to take, big or small. This will give you a clear path toward your goal. Taking the time to think about a goal thoroughly enough to put it in writing makes it real. You no longer risk letting it slip your mind. For step 2, let's continue with the SMART goal. I will make a debt repayment plan by the 15th of the month. What could be the steps that you may want to do in order to achieve this goal. First, you could review your statements and list all of your debt information. Next, rework your budget to free up additional money to pay off your debts. Or you could call your credit card company to see if you can get a lower interest rate. Or another one would be to outline a power pay strategy for all of your debts. Step 3, look at the challenges and think of strategies for dealing with them. In step 3, there are often roadblocks on the path to achieving our goals. Think about what some of these might be. What resources and knowledge do you have to overcome them? For example, unexpected expenses or sudden change in income. Our possible option could be reduce debt payments, but continue to maintain minimum payments on all debts, or speak to a nonprofit credit counselor. And the last step, step 4, set deadlines. Having a deadline for your goal is a great way to keep you on track. You may want to set deadlines for each step as well. Achieving each step will keep you motivated to the finish. Here's an example of how setting deadlines could look like. You have 2 columns on your screen. You've got tasks and when you're able to do it. So if you look at the first line, review my statements and list all of my debt information, you've set yourself to do it on a Saturday. And then rework my budget to free up additional money to pay off my debt. You do it next Monday. And then call my credit card company to see if I can get a lower interest rate. You do that on a Tuesday. And then lastly, outline a power pay strategy for my debts. You could do that by the 15th of the month. The point here is that you have dates, deadlines on when you're going to finish that particular task. And then you're able to follow through and you're able to celebrate each time you finish a task. Here are some tips to jumpstart behavior change through goal setting. Start small. Start setting small goals. The easier it is, the more likely you are to achieve it. Then you can build a success momentum that will pave the way to reach bigger goals. Find an anchor. Choose an existing routine in your life to act as a trigger for your new behavior. For example, after I open my bill, I will write down the payment due date in my calendar. And then celebrate immediately. Celebrate every step in small ways like a thumbs up or telling yourself, good job, a pat on the back. Now, let's have a clear example of a goal and the tasks required to achieve them and the deadlines. Let's say the goal is, I will save $3,000 by October so I could go on a much needed vacation in Hawaii this December. So what could be the tasks and what could be the deadlines? So the task could be make a budget for all vacation expenses, look for discounted deals on hotel and flights going to Hawaii. So when would that be? So you start on February 1st, and then task number 2, review my income versus expenses and cut any unnecessary spending, like for example, going to Starbucks for coffee or eating out. So instead of going on coffee runs, you could probably just make your own coffee at home and bring it with you in a mug. And instead of eating out, you could just pack a lunch for yourself when you go to work. So the deadline could be February 10th. And then task number 3, open a TFSA account and set up automatic payroll deduction of $200 per day. So you could set that deadline on February 20th. And number 4, assess expenditures and adjust when necessary. You could set that date as a deadline on April 15th. So the point here again is to make sure that whatever task you do, you follow through with whatever the deadline is. And once you accomplish each task on the date that you have defined, then once again, pat yourself in the back. Good job. Harnessing the SMART framework as a 5-step strategy for setting your personal savings goals can be super helpful on your path to success. As long as you are specific, your goal is measurable, attainable, realistic, and time limited, you are able to have a sense of direction and clear actionable steps to start saving for that dream vacation. But you know what? It doesn't have to be a lofty goal. Start small and build your way up. If this video has been helpful to you, please share and subscribe to our YouTube channel or visit our website at prosecurefinancial.com. This is Gigi Ricarse at your service. Thank you and have a wonderful day.